City of Forest Park, City Council meeting number 1454. Today is May 19th. It is a little bit after 7 p.m. We're going to start by standing and saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, starting with item number 1 on the agenda is the roll call. Will the acting clerk please call the roll?
Adams,
Present.
Brown,
Here.
Clark,
Here.
Harrison,
Here.
Holt,
Here.
Moore, Sylvester.
All right, all council members and present and accounted for. Moving on item number 2, which are the minutes. Has everyone received the minutes? Are there any changes or corrections to be made? All right, hearing none, we're going to go on to item number 3, which is presentations, and we have our presentation from our Boys and Girls Club. So if you want to come to the podium, state your name,
Go ahead, I'm trying to turn it on.
and then Don's going to pull up the presentation momentarily.
We hope. Having all kinds of trouble. Find the, Is that number Sam? 7977. There? Okay. And there. Okay, ready to go.
All right, good evening. Members of council, mayor, city manager, it's great to be here again and see you again. And I'm very excited about this opportunity and to share this good news about this partnership that we've been working on for some time. My name is Tommy John. I'm the CEO of Boys and Girls Clubs of Hamilton, and really excited about the opportunity to be able to serve youth and teens here in Forest Park. A little bit about me. I've been with the Boys and Girls Clubs movement now for 14 years. Started as a teacher in the Chicago area, working for Chicago Public Schools in that area, and saw a need for youth to be served after school. Contrary to popular belief, teachers get sad sometimes when you have to put kids on a bus and you don't know where they go. Don't know whether or not they're going to have a healthy meal, or someone's going to give them a hug, or someone's going to tell them we care about you. And so I left education to work in nonprofit, and I've been with Boys and Girls Clubs ever since, because I believe that we should have just as many resources and supportive adults as we do during the school day and in the after-school setting. The young man on the left there, I'll tell you a little bit about him later, but he's just an outstanding leader and advocate in our community in Hamilton, has been an advocate for teen voice and empowerment across the state of Ohio, representing our organization as our Youth of the Year. And of course, I wouldn't be able to do these things without the support of my amazing wife, who's watching on the live stream. She loves to watch me on the live stream, so I'm glad that she's able to tune into that. Our mission is to enable all young people, especially those who need us most, to reach their full potential as caring, productive, and responsible citizens. And when we say all young people, that's what we mean. Boys and Girls Clubs has over 5,500 locations across the United States and around the world on military bases. And I think that every child needs Boys and Girls Clubs. And our communities can access a myriad of resources to make sure that our youth and teens are supportive. It's not just youth and teens who are in hard areas or don't have anybody at home. All youth and teens struggle with mental health and so many other things where we can support them by working together after school. Our values: teamwork, memories, friendship, family, and fun. Because if I didn't do fun like that and one of my staff found out, I'd be in trouble. We have to do fun like that. We just started our staff training today, and we have a shutdown week where we prepare for summer, and we do things, whether it's trauma-informed training, safety training, new program training. Today we had a really great team collaboration and team building training We have an incredible staff and great people that work for our organization. One of them's here today, which I'll introduce in just a little bit. 2 years ago, when I arrived, I've been the CEO now for about 2.5 years and moved up here from Southeast Florida. The organization had 2 locations, our Grand Club and our East Club. Now the organization is going to have 5 locations, which is a very exciting thing because that for me means that many more youth and teens have access to a free, safe, and caring place to go after school. And all of those locations are led by full-time staff members. If you think about us like a school, we have club directors who function similar to principals. And I'd like to introduce each of them quickly. So Coach Simmons is a director of our Grand Clubhouse. He's over 40 years experience as a retired educator and as a coach currently, a recruiter at Trine University and former college coach as well, and does an exceptional job. Montessa Morgan is our club director at our Highland Club. That's a school-based location in Hamilton, and Montessa is a club alumni of the program, and today at our staff training gave a great testament and shared how the club has saved her life. At our East Club, we have our club director, Miss Amber Sneed. Some of you may recognize the last name Sneed. Amber's mom's a teacher with Winton Woods, and family is very well known in Forest Park, and is just an exceptional club director and has coached and played D1 basketball as well as volleyball. And on the right is Doug Ware. He's been with the organization 27 years in Hamilton, and he's going to be leading our new Linden Club that we're partnering with Hamilton City Schools to expand services to another elementary school in Hamilton. And Doug is just, he's been there 27 years and he puts the kids first all the time, every decision. So you can see we have some great leaders who run our programs. And then I will invite up at this time Mr. CJ Owensby, who's going to be the club director for the Winton Woods Club. CJ, if you want to come on up. Mayor and council and everyone's been really excited to meet you. I've built you up, man. Don't let me down.
I appreciate it. A lot of pressure. Good evening, council members. Thank you guys for having me. Like Tommy said, my name is CJ Owensby. I've been with the movement for 2 years now. I started off with the Boys and Girls Club of Northeastern Ohio. I was the club director over the LeBron James Boys and Girls Club in Akron. A lot of people ask me if I've met LeBron. I have not, unfortunately. Maybe one day. But I just have a great passion just for mentoring youth, giving our youth leadership development opportunities and really pushing them to their greatest potential. I believe Winton Woods has so many bright futures, and I'm just so excited to really tap into that and to give them all the resources that's really just going to push them to be the leaders of today and tomorrow. Something else that you put on the slide, I am a Christian content creator, so definitely excited to implement some content creation into our program, and we're really looking forward to this program being one of the largest teen centers in the state of Ohio. So excited to see the impact that it's going to make on the school and the community. So really excited about this.
All right.
It's pretty awesome. He's going to take the program to some incredible heights, so we're very excited and very lucky to have CJ in our organization. These are just some organization metrics from the past 2 years. We've increased our average daily attendance by 300%, increased our registered members by more than that. And this is an interesting thing that I like to explain to folks is that not just are we helping kids, we're helping families. There's people that are getting jobs and they're working, that are bringing home paychecks because of expansion of services of youth. For every dollar invested in communities, over the lifetime of that investment, the community sees a $33 return to the local community. And what does that mean? It means that parents can go back to college. It means that there's lower crime rate. It means there's a great economic return on investment for every dollar invested in Boys and Girls Clubs. And that study was done by Ohio University Voinovich School of Business. How have we accomplished some of these great things, and how do we continue to steer our ship as an organization? Well, this is our strategic plan. It boils down to 3 simple things for me: world-class clubs, life-enriching programs, and caring adult mentors. And so for me, that means our facilities, the people that we have in our facilities, and what we do with our youth and teens. It's not that complicated. Quality places for them to go, quality things for them to do, and exceptional people to mentor them. there's a little bit of a breakdown of our strategic plan. Really proud to say we've accomplished many of those things. One of the things that I'm most proud of, and I mentioned we have a trauma-informed practices training this week for all of our staff, is our PAX Tools organization. And so PAX is Latin for peace. We utilize that to redirect youth. All of our staff understand that every child's behavior has a reason. There's a reason for the behavior. It's not just because they're not listening to you. And so we try to get to the core of that behavior so that we can solve the problem at the origination point. We think that that's better for the long-term success of that child. We're actually opening our summer program, which is a full-day teen program, 9:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. in Hamilton. And I know that Mr. CJ got some space over at Winton already, and he's been working with Principal Dixon to recruit some teens for our summer program. I think he was excited when he came to me and told me that the first student from Winton signed up officially today for the teen program, so that's very exciting. I know that the team is working out transportation to ensure that there's no barriers for that program. But where else can you go somewhere safe for 10 hours a day, eat a couple meals, have life-changing, life-altering programs, attend field trips? None of our programs cost $1. I want you to remember that during this presentation, and that makes us very different in terms of a lot of other nonprofits that might be in the area in southwestern Ohio, is that we don't do a sliding scale. We don't ask families to fill out scholarship paperwork. We don't ask staff to collect money. Our organization stands on the belief that relationships are king in terms of the staff and adult and parent relationships, and that stands true for youth as well. And so the last thing I would want is for a parent to walk through the door and a staff member to have to track down $5 from them instead of saying, hey, I heard you're going through a tough time. Can we connect you to these resources? So our focus is always the family. This is one of our newly renovated spaces, going back to our strategic plan. And this is even before, so there were some other additions to it, but beautifully renovated gymnasium. So the teens that are going to utilize this program this summer are going to have a great, beautiful place to go. And we can have things happen in our clubs like guest speakers. And this guest speaker in particular wanted to make sure that teens understood how to get involved in the voting system and how to have your voice heard. And he's a former elected official, and so he came in, he spoke with our teens and explained that to them, how they can get involved. And if you're upset about something, don't complain about it, do something about it, was the message behind that.
Absolutely.
We can also do fun things like dances, right? This was after hurricanes had affected Southeast Florida and Western North Carolina. The teens felt moved to want to give to the Red Cross. And so they hosted a teen dance, and everything that they collected through the teen dance went as a donation to the American Red Cross. And so you can see that service, character, leadership beyond yourself is a big focus of this program as well. And that's the exact type of program that you all are supporting and you'll see at Winton Woods. I mentioned this young man earlier. Damarian Samples was selected last year as the Youth of the Year for not just Boys and Girls Clubs of Hamilton, but for the state of Ohio. And Youth of the Year is the highest honor a Boys and Girls Clubs member can receive. He's facilitated legislative briefings, met with the governor, met with the lieutenant governor, and has been an ambassador for change, for things that he wants to see change in his community. He's proud that he was able to be the keynote speaker for Christian's Corn Stand Jam, which is a concert that benefits positive mental health and promotes suicide awareness in Hamilton, and also was the keynote speaker for Hamilton Pride and actually kicked off Hamilton Pride and led that march through the city. So pretty impactful young man, an incredible person. He's going to be attending South Carolina State and studying business and fashion design. And in his time at Boys and Girls Clubs, just in the past year, has amassed about $20,000 in scholarships, including a 4-year scholarship that's just for expenses. So it doesn't even go towards this one doesn't even go towards tuition. He just gets money every month that goes towards his expenses if he wants to come back and visit or if he needs food. I know I was a college student. I used to beg my mom for $20 on the weekend to order pizza, and so I told him, like, this is an important scholarship. Make sure you're doing what you're supposed to maintain this one. So we're all very proud of Damarian's accomplishments. Specifically here for the Winton Woods Club, these are projected hours, and we'll talk about projected programs, but the thing I want to put an emphasis on is that this is a teen and staff member driven program. So if Principal Dixon comes to CJ and Mr. CJ and says, you know, we really need a program that focuses on science, some of our kids are struggling in science, we'll be reactive to the needs of the school, whatever that is. And also ask the teens, what are some things that you want to see in this program to encourage you to get the most out of it and encourage other kids to come. So while we can, I think that sometimes adults can plan things for kids and plan things for teens and forget to have teen voice and then give that to them. And they're like, I didn't even want this in the first place. Why did you design this without asking me? And so some of the most successful teen programs I've been a part of are ones where teens are the drivers of the program. So the projected hours after school are 2:30 to 6. That was identified by the school district as a time of need. We want to give the kids something positive to do so that they're not walking right out the door and going out into the community or having to line up outside Kroger and some of the things that folks from the community when we did our study have shared with us that these are needs and these are important things for the kids to have access to during these hours. So in addition to that, our hope is to be able to provide a hot meal. We're working with the district as well. And so it's not just come and play basketball and hang out. There's going to be academic support. There's going to be character development support. There's going to be food. There's going to be mentorship. And we're working with the district on overcoming any barriers. If it's a transportation barrier, we're ensuring that all kids, regardless of whether or not their parents have the means, all the kids can be a part of this program. And so I mentioned the summer program as well. So it's not just Boys and Girls Clubs. We want to see this as a true partnership. We don't want to just be someone in a building running a program. We want the youth, teens, families of Forest Park and of Winton Woods to not just access the program and resources here, but to access the program and resources that we have in our organization, which includes our free summer program. Mentioned earlier, some programs some after-school programs, you might see a few part-time people. We have 2 committed full-time people for this position, Mr. CJ, and also a full-time program director that functions as an assistant. You might think about it as an assistant principal. They don't just come into the building at 2:30 either. We've already identified office space for the school year. I think Mr. CJ has been to some lunches there, handing out flyers, meeting with people, meeting with kids, and being a part of the school culture. Some of the most impactful programs are when the after-school staff member is not just an after-school staff member, that when they're a part of the school culture. CJ will attend professional development with the school district so that he's in line with the verbiage that they're speaking with the kids, so that carries over after school, and will be housed directly at the school during the day. So his office will be over there. So if anyone wants to stop over and bug him, go ahead, go for it, please. So what are they going to be doing? All of our programs focus on academic success, good character and citizenship, and healthy lifestyles. And that might mean that there's a tutoring program. That might mean that there's a healthy eating and exercise and training program. And that might mean that there's a service program. Our student council club is called Keystone. Keystone is a national initiative. Our kids are actually going to be going to Chicago this summer to be a part of Keystone's national conference, where teens from all over the country will be going to Chicago for this 3-day teen leadership program. It's just an exciting opportunity to develop leadership. So, but again, with that being said, we want to ensure that it's teen-led and teen-driven. And so the way I talk with CJ and our team about working with teens is that you make a promise and then you follow through on the promise. That's how you build relationships with teens. You ask them, what can we do to make this program better for you? And when they ask you and you say, we're gonna make it happen, you make it happen. That's how you get teens in your program. It's not by having flashy giveaways or anything like that. It's by building true relationships and following through on promises. That is how you build relationships with teens, and that is what will be at the core of this program. I mentioned a lot of stuff already, and most of those things are up there. A couple other things is our scholarship opportunities, career exploration. We have a great partnership with Transfer VR. We're planning on utilizing VR headsets to do things like where the kids can put the VR headsets on and do oil changes, but then also getting them out to the community to be involved practically to do career exploration as well. I would love council and any business partners that are in the community to make recommendations to say, hey, you should take the kids here. Have you thought about this? I know this business would be open to giving you guys a tour, because for us, it's all about preparing young teens to be older teens who are leaders in your community, and so that those older teens then become really strong citizens and leaders for Forest Park. And this is the last thing that I will leave you with. This wall was just a blank canvas. I'll put it like that. It was a blank canvas where it was in a teen room space, and the kids, came in and said, why is that wall not painted, and how come it doesn't look right? And so we decided to find a partnership. And that's why one of the things I just alluded to in regards to career exploration. We're extremely open to partners. We want people involved in this program. The best thing that can happen is that people from Forest Park and people from the school district get involved, and people from the community. And so if you're a member of the community and you're hearing this, we want you involved. And this mural is a great representation of what partnerships do. So we knew that we wanted something in the room. And we have a nonprofit in Hamilton called Inspiration Studios, which is a day program for adults with developmental disabilities, with a big focus on art. And so we wrote a collaborative grant, got funding, and were awarded the opportunity to do this mural. And when I tell you that it was one of the most impactful things I've seen in my 14-year nonprofit career, it really was incredible. And so adults with developmental disabilities work directly with our teens. And those adults, they referred as artists. The artists were really the leaders. And so for a lot of our teens, I think that it was the first time that they saw someone with a disability as somebody they can learn from, right? And it was a two-way street, because I think it was a lot of the first time for the artists to work with teens who might look different than them. And it bridged so many opportunities in our city and Hamilton for them to say, wow, I can go to this neighborhood, and I can feel like I know some kids who are here, and I can go downtown and I can see those adults painting windows in downtown Hamilton and know that I can go up and talk to them, right? Like, I think so much of the division that sometimes can happen in cities is because of misunderstanding, and that was a huge thing that we bridged with that. Even more specific, which was very cool, some of the teens came up to me and talked to me afterwards about it, and they told me that was the first time that they had seen their skin pigment represented in a mural or in a painting or ever, because it's not just hands. Those are their specific hands. They're standing in front of their specific hands, and on those hands are things that are important to them, whether it's Boys and Girls Club, whether it's fine arts, whether it's gardening, whether it's being a biracial youth, whether it's their faith. And so their hands will be on the wall in the teen room forever because of that partnership and collaboration. And so that's the type of partnership, that's the type of lifelong impact that we hope to make here with this program, with partnership. We know that with Boys and Girls Clubs, Forest Park, and Winton Woods School District, that we can make a huge impact for teens in the city of Forest Park. We're very excited about that. Does anyone have any questions?
All right, well, thank you. Thank you. That was a wonderful presentation. Any council member have any questions?
I do. I have a question. How many youth at one point can you all have? Like, I think the Winton Woods School District has several thousand youth. So how many youth can you have within the program?
Yeah, that's a great question. We maintain that safety is our top priority. And so maintain a ratio of 1 to 15 is our first and foremost thing that we do. And that's in terms of staff to youth. Safety first, fun second. I'm kind of like the fun police around town at work, but I have to make sure that we're safe first. So our vision is to build capacity in this program over time, specifically at the school, where if 300 kids want to sign up, that's great. but safely, we can't open the doors up and say 300 kids are going to come the first day. This is a new program. We need to develop safety processes and checks and balances. And so really our goal is to continue to add kids at the school off of the wait list 15 at a time, so we can maintain our growth capacity as well. Our teachers are called youth development professionals. And so for every group of 15 to 20 teens that we add into the program, we'll hire a new youth development professional. So,
I'm
we
sorry,
can-
go ahead.
Yeah, we can. I would love to serve every single child who wants to attend an after-school program. I just say that it might take a little bit of time with building capacity. The school has been incredible at providing space. They've already worked on scheduling the gym for the after-school program, giving us pods, ensuring that we're going to be able to have access to hot meals for the kids. And so I really think that, that's to Mr. CJ's point, that this can be one of the largest teen serving centers after school in the state.
So is it safe to say, because I heard you say you had 2 full-time staff, 2 part-time staff, so starting capacity could be between 30 to 45 youth?
We'll have 2 full-time staff, and those don't count in ratio. We'll have part-time staff for every group that we add. Really, our goal is 60 to 75 to open up on opening
Thank
day.
you.
I think that would be a great goal to have, and we'll build the program from there. And I know that with Mr. CJ's leadership, that there's going to be a lot of teens that want to be a part of this program.
Thank you.
Just really quick, for parents who want to get their kid involved, how can they contact you?
Yep. So they can get in contact in regards to registration for the program, either through the school. There's going to be some electronic messages sent home through the school in regards to registration for the school year. Right now, we're just going through summer training and kicking off our summer program, but we hope to probably after the 4th of July holiday to be able to send home some school year registration information for families, and that will go through the school district as well as the first week of school. We won't really start the program. It'll probably start the second week because we want to give the school an opportunity to settle in and make sure kids are going to the right places. And Mr. CJ will be present that whole first week too, distributing information, as well as any parent nights, parent orientations that the schools may have. Mr. CJ will be represented, our organization, at that as well.
All right. And
Councilmember Clark?
Thank you. And Tommy, what are the age groups? Because it'll be at the North Campus, right?
Right, yep. So we're right now focusing on 7th and 8th graders. That doesn't mean that because that was what was identified as the highest area of need by both the city and also the school district. That doesn't mean over time that we can't fold in students from the high school to come on over next door, but the program will be housed at the middle school.
Thank you so much. And then this is an exciting program. I can't wait. My niece is going to love it. Lastly, though, and what type of how do we support the first year for what all the good things that are going to happen, both our contribution and the schools?
Mm-hmm. So the funds that we have to start this program are just that. They're funds to start the program. And so one way to support is be an advocate, because that's the best way that we can raise funds as an organization to build long-term sustainability. Superintendent Denny and I have already had some talks and discussions around strategy in terms of financial sustainability. And when there's an opportunity to invite people in for a tour, I would love to tour council and anyone that you see from the community that might be a good fit to be involved, whether that group wants to volunteer or whether that group would like to fund the program financially. And so we're looking for individual donors, corporate sponsors that want to be a part of this program, want to support teens, the future workforce of their community.
Well, thank you for your wonderful presentation, and thank you for the time that you're going to give to the students. And this is just another prime example of the partnership between the school district and the city, and we look forward to you impacting a lot of those middle school youth, because they do need a lot of guidance, and I'm sure they're going to have a wonderful time in the program, so thank you.
I do one more comment. So our board member came in, and not just a board member, but a mentor of mine and very, very involved in this community, Ms. Denise Quinn. She's been a big supporter of this program expansion since the beginning. And without Denise's leadership, I don't know, the organization probably wouldn't be where it is today. And so I'm glad that Denise is able to be here. We have 17 other board members that are supporting this program as well. I would certainly love to have and explore some board member representation from Forest Park or from the school district as well. And so this is kind of if you would like to volunteer and be put to work for the organization, I'm happy to have that conversation with anybody who's interested as well. I think there might be a club alumni that's on city council. I heard that through the grapevine.
Yes, it is.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Thank you all.
All right, that concludes item number 3, presentations. Moving on to item number 4, which is communications from the public. So this is the time for citizens to comment on matters before council or to ask questions of concern to them. So when recognized, please come forward to the podium, give your name and address, and then state your comments or questions. Council meetings are tape recorded for ease of transcription, but comments are limited to 5 minutes. So if anyone would like to address council, please come forward to the podium. There should be a sign-in sheet and a pen up there. And then state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
My name's Tyler Shedd. I grew up at 11247 Lockport Court and try to follow up CJ and the gang. We think we can coattail, kind of mirror what we're, as coaches, would like to see. First question would be, we got all that space over at Forest Fair Mall, or the old do we know what we're doing with it?
Yes, we're voting on that tonight.
Okay, well, you know, it might be a little too late, but maybe we can find a second location. But, you know, we were going to say, you know, our youth are dying for space. And we know if we could turn into maybe a mini Spooky Nook, or maybe get another location. And
Yeah, it's not too late if you have $50 million.
I know money and ownership,
And I'm serious though. If you
but
come up with 50.
but like you know, if we had the money, it'd be a great like all the businesses with what we could do with that location. Like hotels would be packed. You know, we got various coaches from different sports, and you know, maybe even house the Boys and Girls Club over there.
Yeah.
And but I like to bring up each of the coaches and have them describe what they need.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Who wants to go?
Coach Gillespie?
Good evening. My name is Donnie Gillespie. I grew up on 824 Holyoke Drive in the H section. I guess I'm just going to echo the sentiments that Tyler said, and it was very, beautiful listening to the presentation about the Boys and Girls Club, because it really is a segue into what we're kind of trying to identify. One of the things that happened years ago when the elementary schools were torn down, it just took away a space. But we did create more community atmosphere as far as what we had when we built the 2 campuses. But facilities is our biggest issue. So when we talk about housing a lot of the different and great opportunities that we have presented, whether it's the Boys and Girls Club this year under the leadership of Coach Pilgrim with our basketball program, we've started different youth programs. Those who maybe not understand what it used to look like, we had 6 or 7 elementary schools in the community. So we had different facilities to house and create opportunities for kids, whether it was just rec centers or recreation opportunities. But we are in that position once again where we're trying to identify facilities. So I guess I'll say our cry or our need is, what is the answers to be able to create space and facilities for all these great things that we have to keep our kids active, keep them in productive opportunities. So when Tyler was asking us to come up and speak, and I don't want to take over my 5 minutes, he was asking us to just talk about what do we see and what is the what is the word I'm looking for? What is not just the vision, but what is the opportunities that are available? We don't know all of them, but those are the questions that we have that we're trying to figure out so that we can occupy the time, the vision, the talents, and the gifts that these kids have just to keep them very creative. So I do appreciate the time that you have created for us to present these thoughts. Thank you.
Any other coach wanna? Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Chad Murphy. I'm an intervention specialist over here at the high school, also the head football coach and head boys track coach. I'd like to thank Mr. Shedd. He's from this community and is always coming up with things we could be doing or would like to, get going. Donnie did a great job also. I'm fired up about the Boys and Girls Club. I've had a daughter work at the Boys and Girls Club, so I know the impact you guys can have. So I just learned about that tonight, so I'm fired up about that as well. But I think it's just, space for our kids. I've been in this community 5 years, 4 years as a head football coach. It's an unbelievable community. I'd like to believe I try to help with that and pour my heart and soul into this place. But I do think, anything that's going to present our youth with more opportunities, whether it be, obviously the Spooky Nook thing is. But I was in Hamilton not that long ago, and I saw pre-Spooky Nook, and I've got to see post, and I mean, what an unbelievable opportunity for not only the youth but jobs in the community and restaurants and things like that. Once upon a time that was out of the box, thinking out of the box thing too, and what a thing it's turned into. But another thing, even another turf field, and I know I don't mean to beat a dead horse with some of these things, but not only our district but our community, not only the school program, but I'm saying the communities. I just feel like it's amazing the amount of time I'm reached out to about utilizing our stadium over here. I believe David Long, NFL, is now going to bring his camp here this year. Jermaine Matthews is going to have his camp here on June 14th. I train quarterbacks over here on some Saturday and Sunday mornings at our stadium, and the amount of youth working with a trainer down at this end and working with a trainer down at this end, people walking the track. It's a beautiful thing to see on Saturday and Sunday mornings. I can only imagine if we had more space to do so. I just feel like it's more positive things that our youth could be, taking part in. But I'm blessed to be in Forest Park right now, no doubt about it, and thank you all for all you guys do.
Thank you. Any other coach? Yeah.
I'm Ray Sean Armstrong. I'm actually from Mount Healthy. I graduated from Mount Healthy, but I've been working with Winton Woods for about 10 years now with the music program, and just took over head wrestling coach this past season. And like you said, our main thing is facilities for our youth program. This will be our second summer that I'm going to be doing our wrestling youth program. And like you said, the main thing is just having a space for when I got like 60, 70 little kids running around. And our wrestling room is probably about the size of this room. So like you said, our main thing is finding space for that. And then, of course, we all know how our baseball field is over there. And I've heard that with some rumblings that we're finally getting some things done, but I remember there was a time when Forest Park had baseball fields everywhere. And so it's just really just like he said, just figuring out the facilities and is there going to be something for, the kids to go to, and so we can keep these youth programs going that way. We can compete with the other schools that's in the cities, like especially the ECC, because most of those kids are going from 2 years old and playing together all the way up through high school, and some of them going to college together. And I feel that Forest Park and Winton Woods really should have something like that again, like they used to have. And just, I feel that we just need the space, and if we can find the space, whatever we can do to help to find the space, and whatever it is, we're here to help, and vice versa, if we can get help. That's really it for me.
My name is Coach Mike Pilgrim. I've been the head coach over here at Winton Woods High School for the boys basketball program for 2 years now. My background, the reason I'm here is my background, my whole life has been community outreach. My father, James Pilgrim, was a part of the community council when we lived in Madisonville. I definitely understand, as somebody that's been a part of community outreach my whole life, I definitely understand you guys, difficult jobs and difficult decisions that you have to make and the funds and things of that sort. But I'm also big on these kids and understanding that they are our future. Yes, we're all sitting here, we're having conversations, but at the end of the day, they're going to be having conversations one day like this. And they're going to be making these decisions. And I just think we need to be the springboard to get them off to the right foot. Show them, what it takes, and show them what it's like to see a group of people that really care about their futures. To piggyback off of what my colleague said, we do need more facilities in our community. When I look at other communities, especially like the one I grew up in, Madisonville, and I see what the city is doing finally with it and the changes that are being made, I'm actually one of the founders of the Madisonville Recreation Center. My dad made me one of the founders when I was a little kid, so I had to speak when I was like 12 years old at a community meeting and really tell a board like yourselves of the importance of having a community center that we didn't have. We had the Madisonville YMCA. But the community center, since it came in there, has really boosted economy, boosted people coming in and seeing our great neighborhood of Madisonville. The Indian Hill community is now in there, and they use the community center. They're bringing baseball programs to the park and things of that sort. So we actually just dedicated, had to deal with the baseball. I literally was just there when the mayor dedicated the Madisonville baseball field that we used to have problems with dragging. My dad had to get up in the morning, drag the fields and stuff like that. So it was amazing to see the progress when we got that community center, when we got the outside communities involved in what we were doing, but it took the community center to get that done. So I know we talked about the Spooky Nook, but I think having a community center, period, in Forest Park, since I've been there, I haven't seen one. Maybe I can be mistaken, maybe there is one, but I haven't seen one. I actually moved into the community. I'm over at Springfield Township now, 940 Crossing Point. So I have two young people in my household, my son and my daughter. And I'm big on them having a great future here in this community because I plan on being in this community for as long as my dad has been in Madisonville. And I would like to
Got his own legacy.
exactly, forever, and build a legacy here, God willing. I think the community center definitely helps with that, with our youth that's coming, especially with the Boys and Girls Club and things of that sort. My son was actually in the Boys and Girls Club. He just moved into the district with the Winton School District, and the Boys and Girls Club was amazing for us over there in the Lakota School District. But again, we got all these great things going on. We started the Warriors United, and I know I'm probably going above my 5 minutes, the Warriors United basketball program that we just started this year. We're actually expanding this next year for 3rd to 6th grade for girls and boys. Our girls program, Coach Crawley's not here, but as you know, they had an amazing year this year. There's a lot of interested young people and the families that are coming from outside our community that want to move in our community because of the great things that are going in, not just on the sports side, but in dance and cheerleading and music and the arts. And it's just an exciting time on Kimber Road and in Forest Park, period, that you guys have spearheaded, and we appreciate you guys so much. But again, there's more that always can be done, and we know it takes time, but we just want to come here and give our time to make you understand and voice it vividly that there's facilities needed for these young people to be as great as they need to be and to do even greater things and to, spearhead their lives to be able to go outside the community and come back and bring back more resources. So again, we just thank you for your time and thanks for having us.
All right, thank you. Thank you, gentlemen, coaches. Just the point is well taken. It's something that we hear frequently. We've been hearing for years. We've actually heard, and it's part of the reason why each and every one of us have run. So again, going back to the example of the Boys and Girls Club, we appreciate the collaboration and the partnership between the school district and the city. I do have to state there are plans in the works currently to build facilities because, to your point, there were about 6 elementary schools with baseball fields and gyms, and then those all got torn down. And then we also had swim club and racquetball club, the soccerplex, and a few of them went out of business. But it does take intentionality, it takes partnership and collaboration, but it does take resources, which is your time and your talent. So we appreciate all of you coaching, because it's not even just a job, it is a lifestyle. Each and every one of you become mentors and an integral part in a lot of young people's lives forever. I mean, I still remember Coach G. When I was there, you know, I was never good at basketball. He made me play basketball in the gym. He was my gym coach too, so sprained my ankle in there too, Coach G, when we was rollerblading. But see, I have memories with coaches as well. So, and that has impacted me to want to serve and give back to my community. But to the point earlier about resources, it does take time and talent, but that treasure. Right? It takes a lot of investment, and not just public investment, but private investment as well. So I was actually at the Madisonville Rec Center just the other day, and it is a beautiful facility, but it's not just the city of Cincinnati contributing money. That is also private corporations, and that's what we need partnership, not only from school districts, so these are public institutions between the city and the school district, but we need private investment as well to see the beautiful things that this community has, and then advocates like each and every one of you to go out, not only just to this forum, to tell people like we are worth the investment because of these reasons, because these students deserve it, because these students have high GPAs, because they're state champions, et cetera. They're just good children, right? So the point is well taken, and I hope each and every one of you continue to come in and voice your concerns and any other relationships that you go cultivate into the community, and bring that to us, and then take that up to your superiors, to the school board and the superintendent in particular. But I just want to doubly emphasize that we are all thinking about it, we all want it, and there are facilities that we do have, such as our parks, right, that kids can go out and play in, and parks are free, but we are getting very creative about the amount of public space that we have available to build those type of facilities, where it's a community or a rec center that'll have the type of amenities that students can benefit from. But I do want to make this point, because we make this point about building a rec center, but we don't make this other point enough. When we have enough money to build it, we'll still need money to operate it. And just because we build it and we have money to operate it does not necessarily mean it will be free. So when people say, oh, where are my tax dollars going? If you ask for a rec center, that means you're going to have to build it, and you're going to have to staff it. And people like Mr. Owensby don't come cheap. You know, they do not come cheap. So I just, when we are going out to advocate, we, you know, have the conversations with corporations and say, like, you know, invest your time and your talent, but please invest your treasure in Forest Park. But we appreciate each and every one of you coming in, and keep up the good work.
And
Can we ask
Tyler?
one last question?
Yeah.
Last time we tried to reach out, at least I did. Who is the community liaison that we should be working with?
For
Okay.
I
And
was about to ask you if you could leave your contact information,
yeah,
So
that's
I can
why
give you a
on the
call?
sign-in sheet
Okay.
too.
and we'll get everybody in a
All right.
room and talk about
And,
what's
and I apologize, because Wendell Ellis, who couldn't make it today, is
Mr. Ellison?
is a driving force behind
Yeah,
this.
sure.
And
Yeah, he came in. He came in a couple weeks ago too. To stay. Councilmember Clark, you had a comment or question?
Yeah, yes, I did a quick question, Tyler. Thank you so much for coming again, but are you all able to use the gym for either spillover or for new programs at in the Green Hills building? I just hear that that one does not get used as much, but I'm wondering. The gym that's in the, what we refer to as the white building, or in the Green Hills.
So for me, you speaking about the old Green Hills Middle School?
Mm-hmm.
As far as I don't want to say codes, or as far as what operational in that gymnasium, as far as occupancy, I haven't been down in that gym, so I really probably couldn't answer. I don't know if anybody else could. You have, as far as how it could house and what is the capacity now, because they were housing things and equipment in that gym the last time I checked.
I saw you.
So, but you say you've been.
One of the reasons that the high school doesn't use it as much is, well, I know for wrestling, we stopped going down there because, one, we didn't have a trainer down there, and two, the HVAC system really isn't that great in that building. And the bathrooms, it's like literally just private bathrooms in there. So it's not really a place to hold events and stuff like that. So that's why we stopped going down there for wrestling practice. Plus, I'm like, we got a wrestling room at the building. I want to use that.
Yeah.
But that's really the main reason why a lot of us don't go down there. Because like I said, the trainers don't have a space down there for themselves. So if somebody gets hurt, that's a whole other ordeal that we have to deal with. And like I said, the HVAC system isn't that great in that building for that. In the gym, I mean, it's an old gym. It's super old school. So it's really like, you could probably only hold maybe 100 people spectating at most in there. So it'd be great for practices.
Yeah.
But that's really
Okay.
it. That's really it though.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. I think. And then, yeah, make sure there is contact information. Okay. Then you can follow up with our city manager. All right, and that concludes item number 4. Moving on to item number 5 on the agenda, which is reports from council members. We're going to start with Councilmember Adams.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council, and all of our Hamilton County Forest Park residents. I'd be remiss if I did not say this. As a parent of a Winton Woods student, I have some concerns about opportunities, minimal opportunities that my child has to interact and do some things in the community. Friday night, and this is probably my work session item, one of them. Friday night, there were a group of kids hanging out at Kroger. Saturday, around noon, there was a group of kids hanging out at Kroger. Sunday at 4:18 p.m. when I left the grocery store, there was a group of kids hanging out at Kroger. So for my first work session item, I will again ask council to please consider the 5th Monday of every month to have some form of partnership with the school district so that we can begin to have some of the conversations about how we can collaboratively work with the school district and the city in an effort to create opportunities, additional opportunities for our kids. So that is a work session item that I have, as we have to make them a priority. Also, May 23rd, I'm at Quinn Chapel from 10 to 2. Our very own Mary Knight is hosting a 5-year anniversary with Food for the Soul. They have rescued over 7,000 pounds of food. I'm hoping the community can come out, get fresh produce. Every week, she feeds the community. Many of the officers, Forest Park officers and fire department, et cetera, they do come out and get food and take it to residents. So I just wanted to put that out there. If people could come out May 23rd to support Food for the Soul and our very own Miss Mary Knight. Also, too, May 21st is our next beautification meeting. We are still wanting to increase our commission. We'd love for people to become members if they like. The beautification contest is going to be on June 14th. And then the judging for our commercial judging is going to be on July 7th. We still need judges. And if you're interested in being a judge, we did have a training on May 19th, which I believe is today. But there will be another one on June 2nd. So I'm hoping that people can come out and be a part of that. May 1st was our National Day of Prayer. I had the opportunity to do that, but also too on May 7th, the city of Forest Park had a community prayer, and I'm hoping that we can do that again collectively. We've had some things happen here in our city that we just cannot skim over, but really want to give our support and support families, and not to put my religious values out for anyone, but I do think that prayer is very important. And then on July 19th, we have our Black Men's Wellness event, so we are really wanting to get people out for that. That's going to be here at Central Park. It's going to start about 7 a.m., so I'm hoping people can come out for that. Seniors, if we have any seniors that are 60 and over, the Council on Aging does have some utility assistance funding. If you're interested, if you need that, if you meet the qualifications for that, please reach out to the Council on Aging. Forest Park has a large, mature audience, I'll say that. And so these are resources that are available to them. And then teen jobs, you know, we're talking about our kids, making our children a priority. Hamilton County Office of Youth has jobs. And so we want to try to get these kids employed. Also, too, I was told today that there is some jobs for youth at the YWCA. So wanting to take advantage of that as well. And so, Mayor, that does conclude my report. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Adams. Moving on to Councilmember Clark.
Sorry, thank you. Thank you. Sorry, I apologize. Good evening, everyone. Just to somewhat of a piggyback, but we did have for environmental awareness, we did have our yard sale, our community yard sale on that Saturday. If you may recall, it was a rain out, unfortunately. So a lot of people were prepared to do that. It rained, but a lot of the community got back together on that following Saturday and were pretty successful. And so I want to thank all the folks that volunteered on environmental awareness for that. Tomorrow's meeting will be held at 7 p.m. here in this building for environmental awareness. Reforesting Forest Park begins April, well, it has already begun, but it's still going on. It's $10 per tree. Had the opportunity to attend the 18th Annual Kiwanis Safety Fair over at the Hamilton County Building on Waycross. It was a really great event. A lot of community folks came out, a lot of kids got to learn about all sorts of things regarding safety, and we had a number of different city departments there, so it was really, really nice to see. In addition to some of the things we already talked about, I would have put this in the community, but it kind of went really fast there, but our 3rd annual summer youth programming is going to be happening this year. So when we talk about finding things for our youth, when we talk about making sure that they have safe places, that they're learning skills, they have people that care about them, we're also talking about the intergenerational magic that happens when we have our kids. And so I've been doing this for, like I said, this is our 3rd year, and I'm really happy. We've got some expanded folks that are partnered. Our faith community has stepped up in a very mighty way. Asked them to please lend your space so that we can leverage our collective resources, and they've done that. So we have a great majority of them participating. Some of the classes that we'll be having this year are Birdhouse Art class. I'll be at the library. Automotive 101, which I'm really tickled about, the first year that we'll be having that. So the kids will learn tire, oil changes, things like that, what's under the hood. Some wonderful ladies from our women's club are going to be doing sewing. We have some really, really proficient expert quilters there. Bike building, intro to personal finance. So our 5th third over here that has been in the community for a very long time is now going to get involved with the kids in a very great way with our teens and help them. We've got broadcasting and media, thanks to Dana opening up that space and letting kids come in, painting, pottery, basic of household repairs. So we'll have some drywall and they'll have to actually repair it, things around the house. Kites with Cops, our community officer is going to be doing some things like that, or making kites with the kids. Fire truck, touch a truck, and safety with obstacle courses, learning about blood pressure, lung capacity, and stuff like that will be at Red Door, Quinn Chapel, Forest Chapel. A number of the other different faith communities are joining in. So we're very, very excited about that. We hope to have over 100 kids involved, and that is all totally free. All the volunteers are utilizing their time, and we've asked those places to, hey, just give of your expertise for 4 to 6 hours for this day. And so it's happening. You'll see signups online this Friday, rather. And that's all that I have. Oh, I do have, for our work session item, I would like to talk about senior center activities, grants, and calendar.
Okay. All right, moving on to Councilmember Harrison.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and good evening, everybody. First, I'd like to recognize this past Saturday, May 17th, was Armed Forces Day for all those who are currently serving or have served the United States military in any capacity. Thank you for your service. Include Dr. Moore, who sits on the dais with me, who was my very first NCO in the Army, and she was very mean to me. So. But going on, and then I'd like to thank you for putting this up here. So this summer, there was a Team Summerfeld workshop at Waycross Community Media, and this workshop my son's been a part of it for the past few years, but it teaches the kids how to use video equipment. And the cost for this camp is $200. Now, for a Forest Park resident, thanks to Mr. Jones, our city manager, there are scholarships available. Okay, so if you go to the website, and I'm sure there's going to be literature around the city about that, and your code is FP 2025, capital F, capital P 2025. That'll be free for our Forest Park residents. Okay, so these are for yeah. So for grades 7 through 12, okay, and it's a 2-week session down at Waycross. It's not going to be all day, but starting on June 2nd, ending on June 13th, and there's going to be 2 days where there's no camp. But they learned a lot of good things, and because of that, Waycross Community TV did win 2 Blue Chip Community Media Awards for the presentation that the kids did last year. Okay, so it's really I don't say life-altering, life-changing, but I was a part of Waycross Community TV when I was in school. So it's an awesome opportunity for our children. So if they can, please get involved with that. And that is all I have right now. I have nothing for the work session because, I'll be on military leave.
Okay,
Thank you for your
thank you for that.
service.
Thank you.
Councilmember Harrison. Moving on to First Vice Mayor Holt.
Good afternoon, everyone. I do not have a report, and I don't have anything that I want to add for next week.
Okay, moving on to Second Vice Mayor Dr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you to our guests for coming and presenting some awesome program here in the city of Forest Park in our partnership with Winton Woods. I do want to piggyback on Councilmember Harrison. I was a squared away soldier, and we had a very awesome unit and section, and well respected. So, first, I want to congratulate our graduates throughout the city, our district, the Northwest School District, and other students who do not go to the Winton Woods School District or the Northwest School District. Also, we're very proud of our Winton Woods graduates. We had 15 graduates graduate with an associate degree in high school.
Amazing.
We had 66 honors degrees. That's a very hard honor degree to get if you are a student, so that's a lot of hard work and dedication. And then we had 375 graduates. So we're very proud, and this time of year is one of my favorite times of year, being assistant professor at the University of Cincinnati. So education is so important to me. And so when the flags go up every May, it just brings pride to the community, pride to the parents, pride to the school district. And so if you see a graduate or if you see some signs out in the community, just make sure you acknowledge our graduates. Our We Thrive Summer Series have started. Our last class was Saturday, and so it was rough. But please check our website. The fitness is every other Saturday now, as opposed in the past, it was every Saturday from May into October. So please check the calendar, but please come out. It's free, it's open to the public, it's open to our surrounding communities. So please take time out to come if you want to start exercising, and we have fun. We work out hard, but we have fun. And lastly, our quality of life meeting is Tuesday the 27th at 6:30. And so that is open to the public. It's here in room 3B upstairs. And one of our major projects this year in September is a farmer's market. And so we're still in the process, but we're hoping to start our inaugural farmer's market in September. And so that completes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Moore. And do you have any work session items?
No, I do not.
Okay. All right, moving on to Councilmember Sylvester.
Yes, thank you, Mayor, and good evening to our city, Forest Park. Just want to comment to thank the Boys and Girls Club on that presentation. I think there's a well-deserved program to come to the city, and I look forward to seeing the positive things that are going to happen. So we're looking forward to it. And also just to comment that we've concluded our Park and Rec Commission for this year, and we're into our recess for the summer, but that just positioned the commission to move forward with a lot of the events that's going to be happening out of this summer, June, July, and August. So just make a point for residents to pay attention to our communication website for the city, cityofforestpark.org. And there will be postings out of the various events that's going to take place. I know our city manager is going to come and give some more details in that, so I won't rain on the parade there with it. So just want to make those comments on it. And I do not have any items for the work session.
Okay. Thank you for that, Councilmember Sylvester. All right, that concludes item number 5, reports from council members. Moving on to item number 6, which is the mayor's report, and I will keep it brief. We did have the safety fair thanks to our local Kiwanis chapter and We Thrive Forest Park. 50 bike helmets were given away, and I believe 5 bikes were donated. Am I correct in that, Councilmember Clark? 5 bikes?
5 and 1.
Yeah, 5 bikes were donated in a raffle. So we do thank We Thrive and our local Kiwanis group for hosting the safety fair. This was the 18th annual, and they do this every year, so it's a really great event. Our summer event series are starting. Our next event should be June 6th, which will be our city cycle and our glow ride, which will start at 6:30 p.m. In Central Park, and that's one of our fun events to just kick off the summer. And then, as already mentioned twice before, July 19th, we are doing, this is the second time it'll be in Forest Park, the African American Male Wellness Agency is holding its Black Men's Wellness Day in the city of Forest Park, and that's going to be, again, July 19th, and that starts at 7 a.m. And I do not have any work session items to add, and that concludes my report. So we're going to move on to item number 7, which is the city manager's report. We're going to hear from Mr. Don Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, we had a lot of stuff here, a lot of information, great information from all the city council members and everyone else. But I do want to kind of trumpet or echo the sentiment that we really need to get out there. If you want to find out what's going on in the city of Forest Park, you need to come to our website, check out the events page, subscribe to our newsletter. It's free. Just give us your email address and we'll send it to you. It comes out every week or so. And of course, we have our Facebook as well. So follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our e-newsletter as well as follow us on our website. That's the most current, most accurate information you're going to find about all the great things that are going on this summer. And our summer series is starting. And again, the first one is coming up for the bikes. That'll be a great event. It's always a lot of fun. It's a glow ride. And and you don't even have to ride a bike. You can just walk if you feel like doing it. Lots of good things going on that day. Also, for all those talking about our things to do for our athletes, we've got the fall soccer sign-ups have started May 15th. They've already started. They're online. Have to go online to register, but it's really simple. Just go online again to our website, follow it there, and get those kids signed up for soccer. We do want to thank the Kiwanis Club. Our fire department was there. Our police department was there as well at the safety fair, and it was just a great turnout with all the kids, and it's always a great event. And it doesn't happen without all the volunteers, because all these things that everybody's talking about here, in particular, we heard it from the Boys and Girls Clubs as well. We need volunteers. We need people to come out, help us out, and support all these activities, because we can't, our staff isn't big enough to do it. We have the Rec Commission, of course, pitching in the summer, which is great, and the We Thrive folks and everyone else, all beautification starting there, coming up with their events. So we've got a lot of great volunteers, but we can always use more. Getting to some of the things, the large appliance pickup, that's one of the big things that we do every year. That's every Thursday, but you have to call ahead and get it scheduled. So that's we're a very environmentally friendly community, and so don't just dump those appliances that need to be recycled properly with Freon and so forth. So if you need to get rid of them, give us a call. We'll come by and take them off your hands and make sure that they're recycled properly. Just call our environmental department. And I want to remind everyone also that Memorial Day, Monday, the city will be closed. So I would hope everyone has a great Memorial Day weekend. So if there's anything else, I'll be glad to speak to it.
Council meeting, you considered the BZA recommendation on King City and their recreational sale of marijuana as a retailer. The wellness group across the street, who I said didn't like the competition, a schedule for the briefing and consider the record that we probably have a decision in August or September, in that range. Also, I did review the resolution regarding the development agreement that you will be seeing tonight. I gave an opinion to the property management about towing of vehicles from private property. I reviewed an expedited application for driving and vehicular maneuverability for the police department. I also gave an opinion when we do public notices that we can use the court index as a paper of general circulation. And then also, I gave an opinion regarding our obsolete property and how it can be disposed of. And this is personal property, not real property, with minimal value and really of no use to the city. Other than that, that would be the end of my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you for that, John. And then moving on to our acting clerk of council, Mr. Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to report that ordinance numbers 12-2025 and 15-2025, as well as resolution numbers 17-2025 through 19-2025 were posted as required, and that concludes my report.
All right, thank you, Scott. And let me add, you're doing an excellent job filling in for Takia. All right. So we're moving on to item number 9. This is the part of the meeting where how the sausage gets made. So you are welcome to stay, but we will not be offended if you quietly sneak out if you don't want to see all of this boring city business. So, all right, moving on to item number 9, which is unfinished business and general orders. And I need a motion to suspend.
Motion to suspend the rules requiring the reading in full and read for the second time by title only, ordinance number 12-2025.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
Just that this ordinance was posted 6 days prior to the meeting.
All right, thank you for that, Councilmember Clark. Will the acting clerk please call the roll on the motion to suspend?
Brown?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
Holt?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Sylvester?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
All right, motion to suspend passes 7-0. Will the clerk please read ordinance number 12-2025 by title only?
An ordinance amending the codified ordinances of the City of Forest Park, Section 31.50, indexing of council member salaries, and repealing in its entirety ordinance number 19-2001.
Thank you for that, Scott. I urge adoption of ordinance number 12-2025. All right, it's been moved and properly seconded. So this ordinance implements recommended changes to the council salaries based on a comparative study of similar communities. So the proposed adjustments increase 2% for every council member and will take effect in everyone's new term. And with that, I urge adoption. All right, will the clerk please call the roll?
Clark?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
Holt?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Sylvester?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes. All right, ordinance number 12-2025 passes 7-0. That concludes unfinished business. Moving on to item number 10, which is new business, and I need another motion to suspend.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules requiring the reading in full and read for the first time by title only ordinance number 15-2025.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
And that ordinance was posted 6 days prior to the meeting.
Thank you for that, First Vice Mayor. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to suspend?
Harrison?
Yes.
Holt?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Sylvester?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Motion to suspend passes 7-0. Will the clerk please read ordinance number 15-2025 by title only?
An ordinance amending ordinance numbers 05-2025, 10-2025, and 11-2025 to modify the redemption provisions of the notes and declaring an emergency.
Thank you for that, Scott. Is there a motion, Councilmember Sylvester?
Yes, I move to adopt ordinance number 15-2025.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion, Councilmember?
Yes, this ordinance authorizes the issuance of the city's taxable bond as a non-callable note, while previously approved notes allowed the redemption prior to maturity with 30 days' notice. Key Bank Capital Markets has advised that issuing a non-callable note would be in the city's best financial interest. And with that, I move to adopt ordinance 15-2025.
Thank you, Councilmember. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Holt,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
All right, ordinance number 15-2025 passes 7-0, and I need another motion to suspend.
I make a motion to suspend the rules requiring the reading in full and read for the first time by title only resolution numbers 17-2025 through 19-2025.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
Only that these resolutions were posted 6 days prior to the meeting.
Thank you for that, Vice Mayor. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to suspend?
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Holt.
Yes.
All right, motion to suspend passes 7-0. Will the clerk please read resolution number 17-2025 by title only?
Resolution to support the establishment of the Boys and Girls Club of Hamilton in Winton Woods City School District.
All right, is there a motion? Second Vice Mayor, Dr. Moore.
Thank you. I move to adopt resolution number 17-2025.
Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? Sorry.
Yes. This is a valuable opportunity for our city and our school district to collaborate with the Boys and Girls Club of Hamilton on an after-school program designed for middle school students. By joining forces, these organizations can provide safe, structured, and engaging environment that supports academic achievement, personal growth, and social development. This partnership will allow the sharing of resources, expertise, ultimate enhancing the overall impact and reach of the program within our community. I urge adoption.
And just another point for discussion, the investment, it's going to be a shared investment with the Winwood School District, and what is that?
Excuse me?
75,000 apiece.
All right, excellent, thank you.
Will the clerk call the roll on the motion?
Sylvester,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
All right, resolution 17-2025 passes 7-0. All right, moving on to resolution number 18-2025. Will the clerk please read that by title only?
Resolution approving tentative agreements between the City of Forest Park and International Association of Firefighters, SERB case number 2024-Med-08-0851.
All right, thank you. Is there a motion, Councilmember Harrison?
Yes, I make a motion that we adopt resolution number from January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2027, with wage increases starting April 1st, 2025. The contract includes updated language in several articles to align with current practices and laws, along with financial changes such as increased uniform allowances, provisions for recouping paramedic training costs, mandatory annual physicals with incentives, and scheduled wage increases over 3 years. Additional changes were made to voluntary overtime procedures to improve staffing efficiency.
All right, thank you for that, Councilmember. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion?
Adams,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester.
Yes.
All right, resolution number 18-2025 passes 7-0. And good work on that, Don. I know it's been a long time coming. Point of order, John. I need to amend the agenda so we can go into an executive session. But should I amend the agenda and have the motion making the amendment and stating that we're going into executive session, or amend first and then make another motion?
Exactly. the
Okay.
latter.
All right, so.
Two motions.
Two motions, that's what I thought, right? So, I make a motion to amend the agenda, adding, a item about executive session.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly seconded. We'll have to go into executive session before we discuss the final item, so that's why I'm amending the agenda, and then we'll vote on to go into executive session. Okay, well, I'll still do a roll call. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to amend?
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
All right, motion to amend passes. Sorry. All right, so we've amended the agenda, so now I make a motion to go into executive session to discuss an applicant for economic development assistance.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly seconded. We're going to discuss a development or an applicant who's asking for incentives from the city. So that's the purpose of us having the executive session. Will the clerk please, this could be a voice vote, but can you call the roll? Will you call the roll on this?
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes. All right, motion to go into executive session passes. No official business or items will be discussed while we go into executive session, so council will not be taking any notes or making any votes, but we will go upstairs into 3B, and then we'll reconvene, and then we have the final two motions on the agenda to discuss after that. All right, I need a motion, well, I'll make a motion to reconvene, or to end executive session and reconvene regular council meeting.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly seconded. This could be a voice vote, so all those in favor, let it be known by the sound of voting aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we are back into regular session. All right, now, will the clerk please read resolution number 19-2025 by title only?
Resolution approving and authorizing execution of a development agreement for the Forest Fair Mall redevelopment project.
Thank you for that, Scott. I make a motion to adopt resolution number 19-2025.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly seconded. This development agreement sets forth the terms and conditions in which the city and the developer will begin to the process to demolish and redevelop Forest Fair Mall. The developer has agreed to pay off the existing bonds, demolish the existing mall, and construct state-of-the-art light industrial facilities which will allow for future redevelopment of the entire site. And with that, I urge adoption. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion?
Harrison,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
All right, resolution number 19-2025 passes 7-0. And I need a motion, Councilmember Sylvester.
Yes, I motion to accept the general fund summary report as contained in the departmental reports.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and probably seconded. Is there any further discussion?
No, sir.
All right, this can be a voice vote as well. All those in favor, let it be known by the sound of voting aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes 7-0. All right, we're going to move to adjournment. So is there any other business to come before the body? Any other business to come before the body? Any other business to come before the body? Hearing none, council meeting is adjourned.